All right. Today is Tuesday, June 17th, 2025. Honolulu Youth Commission monthly meeting. I've been called instead of Chair Lim. Let's see. Oh, that's right. Commissioner Shea is not at this meeting. Do we have an assistant secretary? Okay, so assistant secretary, Mishina, could you please take attendance?
Secretary, Commissioner Colburn, Commissioner Carranza,
Here.
Commissioner Matua, Commissioner Shimizu, Vice Secretary Shea, First Vice Chair Soon, Commissioner Duran, Commissioner Bonifacio,
Present.
Commissioner Sagaisai,
Present.
Commissioner Baladoy, Commissioner Ho, Second Vice Chair Ho,
Present.
Chair Lim,
Present.
Commissioner Lee.
Here.
It appears we have one more. Commissioner Shimizu's just arrived. Oh. Oh, do we need to
no.
call him to order or no? Okay. Quorum has been established, I believe. And so moving on to our first agenda item. Would anyone from the public like to testify? Okay. Oh, please. Should she sit by the mic? Oh, she can stand. Okay. And please speak your name for the record and
Where's the mic?
right here. You can move the chair. You can. Yeah.
Are you gonna call action? When do I go?
You may begin, but just state your name and if you're testifying on
Hello,
behalf.
Angela Melody Young, testifying on behalf of CARES, Community Advocacy Research Education Services. We are a research and advocacy grassroots movement. I teach elementary school students, kindergartners, and I'm so happy to be here in front of you at the Youth Commission to actually be very supportive of one of your agenda items, which is the recycling initiative. I thought for it to be not paid attention to was very distraughting and a little bit sad because I value your work. And so I do a lot of outreach with Bottles for College, which works with the Department of Health's High Five Cents recycling program, which helps with the activating recycling drives across the state to work with redemption centers and to help students to elevate their education. So I think that's a really good program that I don't know if you guys have heard of, but have awarded many scholarships to various students across the state. And so they're the official partnership for recycling at Children and Youth, which I'm a co-chair of for the display and exhibits booth. Which was started, Hawaii Children and Youth, the Children's Day Network was started 32 years ago, is legislated into Hawaii Revised Statute, Chapter 8, by Senator Susie Chan Oakland and former Representative Dennis Arakaki. And so this is a really amazing network that I'm the co-chair for one of the branches of. And if you'd like to get more involved as a youth commission under the mayor's office, maybe you would like to ask their leadership team if they can come up with better ideas to help guide you and navigate you. Perhaps one of the initiatives can be to work with us at the Children and Youth Network, which is an official state organization. which works at the Recycling Education Initiative, I think you guys would be very much interested in. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, would any other member of the public like to testify? Seeing not, moving on to old business. Does Secretary Machina, do you have any social media updates for us?
Let's tr- track. It's more secretary.
Oh, yes.
Shay who does it. I don't think so. I think they're just continuing to post.
Mhm.
Oh, they were we
Did you
posted.
want me to do it?
Sure.
Yeah, yes, please.
Chair Lim.
Okay. So I think Ryan was able to post like a post for today's meeting and a few like reels from like Mayor's Town Hall, and then I know that he also had a reel for the last meeting as well. So that actually proved to be very effective. We had actually like over 2,000 views for our like this past week's post and reel. And I think we were also able to increase like our interactions by around 100, and we were able to get 15 new followers.
Awesome. That's encouraging news. Seeing that, Secretary Shea, who's, primarily in charge of social media, is not here, and I think we can move on to PIGs. And so, does the PIG for outreach have any new announcements? Seeing not, moving on to the PIG for environment. Does the PIG for environment have any new announcements? Seeing not, moving on. PIG for HYC newsletter. I did see Chair Lim did send out a newsletter in her email prefacing this meeting. Maybe we can, discuss further about that. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, so that will be the report from our PIG. So the PIG for newsletter was able to compile all the parts that we wanted written for this fiscal year's newsletter. And I did send out a draft that was completed, and honestly, I hope that like it kind of reflects what we want to put ourselves like out there as, and it'd be great if we can push out the draft that I provided as our newsletter like from this meeting on. So that's our
Sure.
report, and hopefully, yeah. Wait, did someone say?
Yeah, I'm reading it over right now. Awesome job. I think this covered all the different aspects of what we wanted to accomplish. I mean, if we could maybe like add more, I guess like design to it maybe.
Well, no,
Especially,
yeah, so that's the written form. If we decide to like, or if we motion to adopt like this final draft, we'll be sending it over to the print shop. I believe a design has been chosen a few meetings past with like a graphic that the PIG also decided on. If you recall, there was like an image sent out to the Signal group chat of what the design looks like, and there will be photos added. So this is just like the word format of it. And if we if someone like motions it and then we second it and pass it with no objections, we'll be able to just get those words printed on the design that we voted on.
Okay, so
So that kind of-
basically, like, our next steps are we're gonna approve the written format of this newsletter, and then move to switch it to a more final design. Is essentially what you're saying?
The final design was already voted on and decided like a couple meetings ago. All we needed to like get down and like push out was the content, and that's
Okay.
what our PIG is reporting today. Because yeah, we already had a design. All we have to do is just take those words and put it on there. So if we like I suppose like approve this report today, then our newsletter should be just like good to go. Because the design and graphics are done. I can try send you the design again, but like we already voted on it.
No,
So
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
kind of set in
I'm
stone, yeah.
Sorry, I'm having problems with signal. That's why I asked the question. But if it's in the group chat, then I'm sure there's no problems from there. Sorry about that. Thanks for the clarification.
And I'm assuming that like we can motion to approve it even during this section of our agenda, correct? Like
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So would anyone like to motion to approve this draft of the newsletter?
I motion to approve this draft of the newsletter.
Okay. Anyone second?
I'll second that.
Okay. Any object? Is there any? Can I just do a? Okay. Now we're going to discussion. Is there any discussion surrounding this current newsletter and any objections to the content or?
I think it's like fairly thorough. The one section that seems a little like sparse would be the PIGs section. I don't really think that we have to like. I agree that I don't really think we have to elaborate on the resolutions because people can access them. But maybe we could like. I think this is fine for now, but in future newsletters, maybe add a blurb or two more explaining each PIG.
Or I mean, even like kind of to add on to your point, like, is like, I mean, if we're like writing a newsletter about what we as a commission do, like, I mean, if there's just not enough, I mean, because like part of the issue could be there's just not enough content there for it, right? So if that's the case, then maybe we shouldn't even include it. But like, you know what I mean? Like, I think if we deleted the PIG section of this newsletter, I don't think the main message and the the kind of like the purpose of the newsletter is ultimately to raise awareness, right? Or and to our cause and to our existence, frankly. So like, I mean, I don't know how you guys feel about it, but if that's the issue, if that's like an issue, then we can just potentially just kind of, I don't know, Chair Lam, what do you think about that?
Well, okay. I don't know. I think both sides raise a very good point. Honestly, I feel like the newsletter should just be tailored to like whatever actually went on this past fiscal year, and like that will apply to respective fiscal years as well. And if you guys do feel like whatever we have on there doesn't reflect what we did this past year, we can always like amend it. I can write another report, and perhaps that can be asked like next meeting, although I won't be there. But I think like I know Commissioner Shimizu did say like moving forward it would be a good idea, and I'm assuming there will be more PIG action moving forward, so I don't think it's an issue for now. And
Okay.
and,
If
like,
I could-
Vice Chair Ho, you also raised a good point in saying like if it doesn't hurt the main message, then like the entire section basically like is a give or take. So yeah.
If I could also chime in, I feel like PIGs, if you look at any agenda meeting, for example, PIGs make up a pretty big portion of that. To like kind of not count them, even if there necessarily hasn't been that much action in the PIGs, in terms of what we do as a commission, it's a pretty big aspect of it. So I don't think removing it would be like in our best
Fair.
interest overall. But I know what you're trying to say with like it doesn't like kind of shows like we didn't do much with the PIGs necessarily, and if we didn't do much, then we shouldn't really include it. But I think that, yeah, as Commissioner Lim or Chair Lim was kind of pointing out, like I definitely foresee more action in the future, and also that as a commission, like that is one of the big like things that we can do to yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Kind of just getting back to the main point here. Are there? I mean, I don't object to the PIG section.
Mm-hmm.
So, are there any objections to the PIG section? Henceforth, are there any objections to the newsletter in general? Sorry.
If you don't mind, I have one quick comment or potential suggestion. Up to your determination, but we're going to be opening up the portal for the Honolulu Youth Commission next week, Monday. We could add a segment in this if we're going to publish this shortly, within the next week or so, and replace that with one of these other items, whether it's a PIG or whether it's with the Honolulu City Lights, which happened a while ago. So we could do something like that. So it's a little bit more timely. It kind of promotes what you guys are doing, promotes the positions that are going to be available on HYC, and then also resolves an issue or two. So something for your consideration.
So sorry, you mean portal as in like the applications
Yeah.
where like new commissioners can
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
I believe I did mention something about that. Perhaps we can add it in there instead of adding the stanza. So like I think it was the new commissioners section or something like that. It was about like upcoming next fiscal year's round and like applications opening up. Perhaps we can include it in there instead of like saying, oh, it's gonna be potentially open. Does that sound alright to other commissioners, or do we think we should just like replace a chunk that we think is irrelevant?
I read over the newsletter and I was thinking about that too, but what Ryan mentioned, but I thought that like what you said in the new commissioners section was like honestly sufficient. I don't know how you guys feel about that. Like I don't think that it has to take that much space in our overall newsletter promoting the new applications. Like as long as we covered it, I think it's all good, but up to you guys.
Okay, how about we just add in that it'll be up like did Ryan say next month?
Next week.
Or
Next week.
Next week.
next week? Or we can just like change it to more information is on the HYC website and
Yeah.
that can be all then. Okay. Did anyone else have any pointers, comments, or concerns?
Can I motion to? Yeah, motion to amend. Okay, would anyone like to motion to
I'll
amend?
make that motion.
Would anyone like to?
I'll second that.
Okay, motion is approved. Sorry? Sorry, excuse me. Are there any objections to the motion? Seeing not, the motion has passed. The amendment has, sorry, excuse me. The amendment has passed. So now we will vote on the full amended version of the newsletter. Would anyone like to motion to vote for the new amendment? Well, we already have the motion. Excuse me. Are there any objections to the newsletter as a whole? Seeing not, the motion has passed. Congratulations. Moving on to the PIG for youth intervention and trafficking. Seeing that I kind of spearhead that, there is no announcement for that PIG. Moving on to new business and resolutions. First order of business, HYC logo. So I don't know if Chair Lim wants to speak a little bit on that. Seeing that I did see she did send some logos in the signal chat earlier. But
Wait, okay, so I believe that's Commissioner Bonifacio's
oh,
item.
excuse me.
Do you wanna present?
I just emailed it. I don't know if Kevin, you can pull it up to share with them on the screen, but I just emailed it to your email and Ryan's email. Yeah, I've been working on the logo. You can take a look at it. There's 2 versions. It's just a draft. It's just a brainstorming thing. I think it'd be good to have a logo. Sorry.
Just a question. I don't recall if I've asked this before or if you've told me, but what will the logo be used for, and why did you feel that it was needed? Just like a brief overview on like what led you to create it.
Basically, so that we have our own, I guess, emblem, or that people know that when they see that, that's us, you know, instead of just seeing the city and county logo. Because, you know, other commissions, other departments have their own logo, so I think it'd be nice to have our own logo and, you know, have
That's fair. I mean, like the Board of Water Supply.
Yeah.
has its own logo.
you know.
Yeah.
So in the future, hopefully, you know, looking 10 years from now, people will be like, oh, that's the youth commission. Just trying to get our name more out there and have a visual for it.
We can deal with that later. Okay, so just kind of getting the discussion going, how do you guys feel about the idea of that?
Is there any way we could see the logo?
And keep in mind, you guys can make your own logos too. Is that the way? What? What's the sense of
Are we able to see it too? The people online.
the ones? That is not. What is that?
Or
Yeah, I'll sign in. I'm gonna sign. Yeah, I'll sign into the WebEx and then I'll show it on there, on my computer. That'll be easier.
Cool.
that'd be great. Thank you.
Thank you.
In the meantime, do you want to move on?
Can we table that? Okay, we'll table that. Moving on, discussion regarding recycling plans at school. I believe that's. I'm not really familiar with this.
I did not actually add this to the agenda.
Oh, okay,
But-
I thought, okay. So it's regarding an email that the Honolulu Youth Commission got from a student from Kaiser High School, and I can pull it out right now. I thought I forwarded it to you.
Yeah.
I shared but
Sorry, my email address changed because now that I'm not, I need to advise you on. I'm sorry, I should have advised you on that earlier. I guess I kind of blanked. Yeah, so now that I'm not at my high school, I'm no longer using that email address. So I'm sorry. That's my fault. I should have advised you on that. It's just like it's just a detail I kind of skipped over, but I can here, I can try to pull it up though.
Okay, but the student at Kaiser High School, his main questions were saying like any guidance or insights that maybe the commissioners can share on how to move forward with like a recycling plan that they can incorporate inside their school, like either that be just like within their public school system or maybe even like within like their own, or
Okay.
I suppose
I
their
can
own
check in on
schools
that.
initiatives to do so. And then any question, or like they also asked like, is there any other legislation to follow? And I know that some of us in here, especially like Commissioner Shimizu, is pretty well versed in legislation that has to do with like a few recycling things that we also had in the past. So we got this email like last month, but I wasn't able to add it into the agenda then. So a discussion like this meeting would be nice.
Sure. If I could provide some insight, Chair. Okay, so first of all, in terms of the legislation that we can pass for the public school systems, I don't believe we can because the public school system falls under the state, Hawaii Department of Education. I'm actually interning with the at the Capitol building, so I'm actually trying to do that exact or create some sort of bill following those exact guidelines right now. So we'll see on that. In terms of like a system that they could make at their own school, it would be hard, I think, but definitely not impossible. To respond to this Kaiser kid, I would recommend encouraging them to reach out to RRR, the recycling plant out Kapolei, I believe. They were very open with me when I discussed working with them regarding the recycling receptacle resolution at all parks on the island. So that could be a solution or route that they could go, but that's just in the meantime because there is legislation going on at the state level on this matter. But yeah, as a youth commission, we can't actually cover it.
Yeah, I believe that's what I kind of responded to them as well. And one more point of discussion that I wanted to like raise from this email that I got was encouraging like more responsible and complete waste management. Like, do you know any more information regarding? I'm sorry, I know like surroundings are kind of noisy. Like a more complete recycling program? Do you know if that's instituted anywhere? Like not just plastic goes here, cans go here, but more of like a waste management system that actually like sorts through like food waste or batteries or anything like that.
Huh. Not that I personally know of. Yeah.
Can a member of the public?
Yeah.
But there's a couple options for things like that. There's programs that certain businesses have started. You know, Best Buy, for example, will take a lot of batteries. There are a number of events that are sponsored where a lot of these groups will come together. They're usually called Going Green or something along those lines. They have specialized in taking electronics, things like that for recycling. As far as food specifically, I don't know if there's any active things, but there are a number of options for, I guess technically that might fall under green waste.
Yeah.
For the city.
Definitely.
But as far as food specific, I don't think it's really specific. But there are some things that you can look at with the city.
I know of a lot of schools that are running their own like composting initiatives. Punahou just started that recently, under Debbie Milliken, our director of sustainability. I know I'm personal like I have personal ties with the head of Bottles for College, connecting back to the public testimony. So I know that I'm sure that they'd be willing to help on this issue in terms of the recycling aspect of it. I didn't know about the batteries thing. That's really cool. But in terms of composting, like that's definitely like a program that they could set up within their school. I think that food waste is a pretty feasible thing because once again, you can like kind of compost anywhere. You don't necessarily, all of our recycling plants, I believe, we need to transport things to other areas off island to like actually process the recyclable materials. So that wouldn't really be something that they could do. But food waste, 100%.
But yeah, that was all from that item from me. So yeah, thank you.
Cool. So do you, Jared, how should we be responding to this Kaiser student?
Well, I think I did kind of offer like, hey, if you want to testify, you are free to. But saying not, I think honestly I did like put it on the agenda as like a discussion, hoping that perhaps like if any of you guys did want to like write a resolution on it. I know that we can't really do anything with like the public school system or anything like that. You guys could, but this discussion was really just more supposed to be informational for like us within like the commissioners. And I think maybe if you want to take this like as part of the PIG for environment to like connect to this student, that can be done. And if not done, I can just like elaborate on my email that I already sent.
Yeah, 100%. If you could like get me in contact with this guy, I'm super sorry, but I'm not actually like on the signal, so I know that a lot of things that might be happening I'm not actually aware of right now.
Okay.
So but yeah, if you could send me this guy's information, I could definitely, or this student's information, I could definitely talk to them about this matter. I was like a part for a little bit about with the Punahou's like composting system for food waste, and so I know a bit on the issue. So yeah, you could definitely send that over to me.
Okay. Seems we have that squared away. Moving on to moving forward with the Honolulu City Light planning. Chair Lim, would you like to speak a little bit more on that? Or sorry, is that
Off-site meeting?
off-site meeting? Oh, sorry. Excuse me. That's further down the list. The off-site meeting and agenda. Backtracking to bullet point 3, scheduling off-site meeting and agenda. Unfortunately, I wasn't at the last meeting because I had a graduation event. But where do we start with this?
If you had the chance to look over the May minutes, the motion was passed to like have one. So we need to like decide what we want in terms of location, like date, time, and like basically delegation of how it's going to be done, and then like decide on the agenda items. But Evan or Ryan, do you guys know like if we can have it kind of similarly, like reach out to like another like public high school or like even just like another school to have one? Like, is that possible? Kind of like how Mayor reaches out to have his town halls.
So, this is sorry, forgive me, this is in relation to having an off-site meeting?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, so,
Yes.
if you were to determine that you wanted to do something like that, then that would kind of trigger the process of saying, okay, we reach out to whatever schools we think would be best to host a town hall, or like a discussion or whatever, or a meeting. So it's just kind of, we have to make that decision if we want to do that. The way that it works with the mayor's town halls is that we determine whether or not there's like a park location, a park facility in the area that we want to target, or a school. So we were at Kalani High School most recently. We were at a park facility over on the west side for one. So it just kind of depends on where we want to go and if you guys actually want to do this. And then that will kind of trigger the, okay, let's start doing that, you know, looking into where we want to be.
Yeah, we decided that like we will because the motion was passed. So I think what we gotta do is like decide where we want to target, like which school or which community did we want to like host this event first. So if any of the commissioners on the table want to discuss on that would be nice.
I mean, if we're just going logically, Mililani is in the middle of the island, or and Mililani High School is, you know, has some pretty big facilities. But I mean, let's hear your guys' thoughts.
I think Milani would be smart too because they have a really big student body too, and I think they'd also be willing to like go with us, to collaborate with us.
I feel like Radford would be a good. Sorry.
Yeah, Mayor's Town Hall. Mayor's Town Hall is like one of them was also at Mililani High School, and it seemed to fit like an event of that scale and kind. So Mililani High School, yeah, is a pretty good choice. Sorry, I should have only got you.
It's fine. I think any school would be fine, but I feel like Radford would be a good place. I don't know why. I feel like that's in the middle for me. I feel like that's the middle. Radford. I don't know
Okay.
why. For me, that's like the middle of the island, don't you think?
Yeah. I mean,
Radford
I
High
think,
School.
yeah.
Maybe it had his town hall
Should
there
we,
too.
should we be
but-
looking at a
I think
map right now?
Milani's, like,
Well, I think
right
Mililani is just a
there.
great. I mean, like it's a good venue in general.
That's true.
I mean, it's a central location, one, and then two, you know.
Every school's a good venue, I think.
Well, I mean, I think every school is a good venue, yes, but like, you know, kind of piggybacking off Chair Lim, Mayor held his. I mean, we can look at each of the high schools or
We
the
have one in
gyms were.
Mililani and Radford. and-
Okay, fair, but like, I'm just, well,
but,
so like,
But-
is there any specific reasoning towards why you think Radford's better than Mililani?
is Radford more central? Does anyone know the answer to this?
We can check this right now.
I
Right now.
agree with that because Mililani is like actually part of like a central district, like
That is
central
true.
Oahu.
I feel like it's like off the
Radford
freeway.
is much closer to Honolulu, and
Radford's like
as a
between.
person who lived in Wahoo, it is it is so more
I think
Mililani
as a
is so
person
much more
living in
accessible,
Milani, I think it's. Don't you live in
but yeah.
Milani
I
too?
live in
Both
Waipahu.
locations are nice.
I live right in the center of the two. So I think either one's fine for me. But I mean, if we're talking about students wise, I think Radford would be nice because Milani's. I feel like people from like this side, Hawaii Kai and east side might want to go to Milani. I feel like Radford's like I don't know why. Okay, it just looks like a sweet spot to me. Don't know the reasoning, but if we
In
can.
either case,
we could-
perhaps
we
like,
can
you
debate
could reach
this.
out to both schools to see which venue would work out better, or like, or you never know. Maybe one of the high schools will say no, you know. So
And
in
to
any case, yeah.
to kind of
What's
build
the
off
map
of
say?
Commissioner Bonifacio's point, like, well, technically Mililani is more central. Like, I do believe that the southeast section of Oahu is more
Densely populated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. More densely populated.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah.
And also in terms of the schools in the area.
Yeah, I
too.
mean, and then on top of that, like, well, at Campbell High School is like, on, has the state's largest student body, right? So, I mean, if we want to talk about like densely populated, though, wouldn't Eva Beach would naturally? I mean, if they have the largest student body in the state,
Well,
What is the largest student body?
it's Campbell High School.
It's Campbell.
Yeah.
well, no, I mean,
Well, the bottom line is
Well,
like,
in either case, yeah.
could I just backtrack a little bit? Are we like locking in a school as our targeted offsite location?
Did we want to do a park instead?
I'm just curious. I don't have any objections to the school. I'm just making sure that we go at things one step at a time.
When we first discussed like a opportunity for offsite meeting, I think we motioned and passed that with the school facility in mind, because it was like one of quote unquote strategies for increasing turnout, because targeting a school makes it more likely for like said school's students to be more aware and perhaps show up, and also like it just I guess targets a very clear community.
Huh.
That's how
Yeah.
like, that's how we first had school facilities in mind.
yeah,
but
kind of adding on to
we did
Chair
say
Lim.
offsite.
Like kind of adding on to Chair Lim, like, the like I remember like in those earlier discussions there was some talk around possibly coordinating with different teachers and educational groups within the school that we are hosting at that would be hosting our meeting to potentially like drive up attendance. I know there was some discussion around that. And then naturally I just feel like us being a youth commission doing it at a school, there's just some sort of logical like
That makes
connection
sense.
there in my opinion, but I'm not sure.
Did we, when we motioned to pass this, I can't recall, did we decide on the time?
No, so we motioned to like, hey, let's do this, and then that was why this agenda item right now is supposed to determine like
Time
what
and
we
place.
want.
Scheduling, yeah, scheduling.
Got it, yeah.
Date, time, location, and agenda.
Okay.
I don't think we can set a time right now because I know we're having new commissioners coming. Hopefully, within the next coming months, and we have some commissioners leaving. So, I feel like we should wait a little
So,
longer.
like-
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
So like what month
But I don't.
and around here, I guess that's
This
what
year.
we
I think
can set now.
I think what Commissioner Bonifacio is trying to say is us, like myself included, will be terming out pretty soon. And this is most likely looking like an activity or an event that will be for the next youth commission, in terms of the new commissioners will be responsible for putting on the event. And so I think what he's saying is, if we were, I'm correct me if I'm wrong. Am I right?
Yes.
And I kind of in a sense agree. Like, and if we were to set something in the future, and they don't necessarily agree with it, then, I mean, maybe like and correct me if I'm wrong. You're pretty much saying like we should leave it up to the next commission essentially.
Sort of, yeah. I just don't think we can set the date right now because, we don't know if by then how many commissioners will be here and all that. So, and if we have a set date and we have new commissioners coming, then we have that date set. And we're gonna have a town hall with people that are new, and then they're gonna be like, oh, what's going on? So I want it to be as organized as possible for this town hall. I want to try and make it so that we have a greater turnout than your town halls you've tried in the past. Not to
So
name
did
it,
you
but
wanna push this agenda item back until the next commissioners arrive, the next batch?
When would that
do we
be?
have an estimate, Kevin, about when new commissioners would be coming?
It's in coming in August.
August. Yeah.
I would suggest though that you have a place so that
Yeah,
at least
I was just
Yeah.
going to say that.
Okay.
We'll think of a place.
Okay. Well, for place, I mean, kind of adding on the Chair Lim, like I think we could reach out to Radford High School. We could reach out to Mililani High School. We could reach out to whichever venue we'd want and see what their response would be, and then make a decision from there. But this meeting could more so serve as like getting a list down for who we want to reach out to.
I think that based on other commissioners' perspectives, like we should maybe. I think that we should definitely reach out to both schools that were already proposed, but I think that maybe we should prioritize Mililani because of the student body population and because of its location on island. Because once again, we don't want like them, I guess, to both accept, and then we kind of have to turn one of them down either, right? So I don't think that would be very respectful.
Yeah, and then just kind of adding on, I'm just jogging my memory back again. Mililani is also like recognized as like the first ever Hawaii schools of democracy. So it's essentially like, and according to like the State Department of Education, like it acknowledges schools that demonstrate like a strong commitment to civic education, engagement, fostering informed and active citizens. And so being that Mililani is, one of the first ever Hawaii schools that receive this recognition of being a school of democracy, and naturally us being a youth commission and one of our main messages being trying to promote youth civic engagement, I think it's kind of a natural fit.
Yeah.
And I think more so than that, they'd be a little bit more willing to have us considering their designation.
I think that's a really important piece of information
Mhm.
when we're deciding this. Yeah.
I don't know, Chair Lim, what do you, or any of the other commissioners, what do you guys think about that?
Sounds good. I think like we can definitely reach out to like Mililani High School first, and if not, then we'll just work down from there.
Okay. So are there any objections to that?
In terms of reaching out, since we don't have a timeline, would we just be asking if like it would be possible like in the future? Or
Ryan, what do you say about like the reaching out process? How does that work?
or should we like wait till we have a set time?
I don't think we necessarily need to wait for a set time because we can just ask. We have a relationship with a lot of these schools, a good relationship, and we can just say, hey, would you be willing and able to host the youth commission? And I think most of the time they would be because you guys are doing good, interesting things. And you're engaging people and you're, the youth, and it's representative of schools, all that kind of stuff. So if you guys want, you can ask me to say, hey, can you reach out to 1, 2, 3, 4 schools and see if these guys would be available? And then you say, okay, this one is the one that we want to really go towards. And then we say, can we do the state? So or you can decide I like the state best, and then we work backwards. So it's totally up to you guys how you want to work it out. But either way.
Okay. I think that's a great idea. Making like a little list of schools that we can ask Ryan to cover, or.
Okay. Yeah. So I think so naturally Mililani, or not naturally, but it kind of seems like the consensus would be that Mililani High School would be our first choice, per se. and then kind of adding on to that, maybe Radford High School just for the location. Are there any other, anyone else have any schools in mind?
I think we should also go to like towards town too.
Okay.
'Cause I think that's really densely populated. Like maybe Kalani, and then also maybe like Campbell, because it's a huge student body too. Just like, just like different places, because I know not everyone wants to drive out all the way to Milani, because
Yeah.
that's really far.
That's fair. Yeah, I mean,
So we're gonna have two.
so we'd have 2 town halls?
Well, I think we should plan for one.
Yeah.
Half of one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we'll see how that goes.
Plan for one, then see if we can do another.
Okay.
I like Kalani is good. And also that they're also one of the democracy.
Oh, they did?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, Kalani would be definitely an option.
That works for me.
I mean, that works for me, like,
Yeah.
better for me, definitely, than Milani, being that I kind of live near there. But I actually kind of agree with that point in terms of, like, town is pretty densely populated. I don't.
Milani feels a bit like southeast to me.
Okay, so we have Chair Lim said, or maybe Waipahu.
I was thinking Waipahu
Yeah.
as well.
I like
actually.
Waipahu.
They have a huge student body.
I think they're like second.
Yeah. And I know they have like and I don't have any like examples to back this up, but from what I've heard, like they do
Oh.
have a variety of different
Thanks.
programs and whatnot related to.
I have quite a few. They have academies over there, a very different system of education. I'm not gonna dive into it that much, that deeply, because I'm not like.
Okay.
But I think it inspires or advocates like moving on, I guess, and like the professionalism aspect of it. I know there's like a healthcare academy and environment-based academy, so a lot of different like
That's really cool.
yeah.
So almost like that's almost like a platform to engage with. Is what you're
Exactly.
saying. Oh
That's
wow.
exactly what I'm saying. Yeah.
Okay. So maybe. I mean, that seems like a natural feeder towards our event, reaching out to the
yeah.
academies.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And since they already have natural like issues and causes that they're pushing for, if we can kind of prepare for those as well
Yeah.
in our agenda, if we do come to Waipahu.
Yeah. That sounds like a great. Well, we have a lot of great options. For
Yeah.
that, right? So let's kind of finalize this. Because we do need to get to one more piece item on our agenda. So, are there any objections towards us choosing 3 schools to reach out to? And those 3 schools being Mililani, Waipahu, and the third one, Kalani.
Yeah.
Are there any objections to that? Seeing not, I think we can go ahead and do that, right, Ryan? Awesome. Okay, so we have location squared away. Like we mentioned, we're not really going to touch date and details too much, at least until the new year. So let's move on in terms of agenda.
Yeah.
Unless anyone has any other dying comments, or any commissioner believes that we should be, kind of diving into the date. Okay. So moving on, the agenda item that we were supposed to discuss earlier, but that's my apologies for that. The Honolulu City Lights planning. Commissioner or Chair Lim, would you like to start the discussion off on that?
Yeah, so I put this on the agenda in the hopes that we could ask, like, Ryan, who first pitched this to us, like, what are we exactly supposed to be deciding on now at this point in time, so that we can make it like a actuality in December, or by the time we have to put it on?
So
What is the work and planning that we have to do now?
the main thing would be for you guys to decide as a group whether or not you would like to ask to be involved with Honolulu City Lights and potentially have your own, like, youth commission Christmas tree down there in the courtyard. That does take work, and it would take a little bit of allotment of your budget to be able to decide. You'd have to go down there, decorate, all that kind of stuff. But then you're kind of part of what's going on.
Well, then again, we're having trouble spending our budget as to begin with. So
We have a lot of money.
How much is our budget anyway right now? Is it still like 2,000 or something?
yeah, I believe we haven't.
We haven't spent it.
Assuming we haven't done any boosters on social media. Okay.
It's still.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
I mean, just
So just to be really clear, I think if you guys want to do it, that's amazing. We just have to ask for permission from the folks who kind of run it, and that would be what you guys are deciding today. Do we make that official request to be involved?
I
Sorry,
actually,
I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure we motioned to request last meeting,
think
so
we did.
like,
yes.
we technically are asking already, or like, should be asking, because last meeting, we motioned to request, or more specifically, we motioned to request a tree, which is, I think, what we're doing as a part of the Honolulu City Lights, and then it was seconded and the motion passed with no objections, so I think we are, like, doing it, so if you do, like, ask for us, to the friends of Honolulu City Lights and, like, everyone who's involved, do, like, what are we deciding today besides just, like, simply asking if we can be a part of it?
No, I'm sorry. That would be on me if I didn't follow up. So I apologize. I will make sure I have an answer for you guys very shortly on that one. What were you gonna say, Commissioner?
I have an answer for everything actually. I did meet with Deputy Director Waima Mizuka. He's in charge of it, right? So we talked about the city lights. That was last week. I just met with him to talk about that, and then he said that the commission can definitely march in the parade for Honolulu City Lights and Kapolei City Lights. He said that we can definitely have a tree, not the Honolulu Hale, but Kapolei Hale, because Honolulu Hale is more of a department battle for the bragging rights kind of thing, contest, yeah. So he said Kapolei Hale is good to have a tree if you want a tree. He said he'll invite us to the meeting next month if anyone wants to attend. Should be end of July-ish when they start planning it, like starting to get that rolling. So, but he said basically yes, we can do that, and then also help out if anyone wants to help out, like last year the elf volunteer Santa, something like that, and also help to decorate the Honolulu Hale with the workers when they're decorating the courtyard and all that. He said if we can help, that would be great. But yeah, that was the information I got from the deputy director. He's the one that's head of it. But is there any questions?
well, I mean, thank you for doing that. It's just
I
kind of
didn't overstep, but
no. I mean, we need that more. We need more initiative like that. I think that kind of adding on to that last point. I feel like every commissioner needs to be on board in terms of because the amount of labor and whatnot it will require. So I know that some of us will not be here in December, myself included, but of the current commissioners, are there any objections towards being in the parade or having a tree at Kapolei City Hall?
What would being in the parade?
Obviously, like
Ball.
marching on the opening night
Okay, and
with the banner,
just like whoever, yeah.
Just, yeah. So yeah, I mean, I don't know who's gonna be here, again, but I think he said we can. So, he said,
And
yeah.
then for the tree, he said no chance we can do it here.
Yeah, he said he preferred not to because this is more of a department thing where the departments of the city can have the little competition.
Yeah.
So he doesn't really
Fair.
want to. So he said that we can have one at Kapolei. That's perfectly fine. But
That's fair.
Honolulu is, yeah.
Okay, well, it almost seems like, being that there's no objection with the rest of the commission, I thank you for doing that.
Sorry.
No, thank you,
Yeah,
thank
no,
you.
sorry, no,
It kind of seems as if we kind of have at least a plan
Yeah.
squared away. Thank you very much for that, Commissioner Bonifacio.
I'll definitely I'll text you over Signal if he emails me again or something.
Okay.
He'll let me know for next month's official meeting with the
Okay.
friends and all
So
that.
we're looking out on that. We're gonna look out for that official meeting. Other than that, that's kind of our next step, and we can't do much from there, right? Essentially, what you're saying.
Yeah, we're just waiting for that meeting, and then
Okay.
once I get that done, then after that, that should be set up for December already, because that's like when they start officially finalizing everything, I guess.
Well, thank you for that. Seems like we have that squared away. And so moving on to future agenda items.
You have to go
Oh
back
yeah,
to
the logo.
Logo.
Logo. Yes. Sorry.
Excuse me.
So sorry.
Moving back to point one, HYC logo. Being that we've all had a chance, hopefully, to review it. Are there any comments?
Wait, I'm gonna put it on the screen.
We have not had all had the
I'm gonna
chance
put it
to
on the
review
screen now. Hopefully, yeah, this is working.
Being that we're about to review it.
If it loads, why is it not loading?
Oh,
Okay, so
Wait,
this
sorry.
is-
Commissioner Bonifacio,
Yes.
before we start, do you want to, would you like to vote on a logo today, or is this more
no,
so
this
a
is just so
preface?
you guys can check it out. But
Okay,
I mean,
okay.
we can hold it for next meeting if anything. And if you guys wanna crack out a design too, I know Esther said she was in design class and all that. So if anyone else has any ideas, feel free to please make a logo. But this is what I've been working on. You got like little, a wave and little, I guess, kids, youth, right? In the background. I'm doing a shaka, right? That's pretty cool, right? And this I use the same type of border with the city and county logo and all that, but it's just City County Honolulu Youth Commission HYC in the middle. But this that one, I don't know. This other one was just like, I don't know if you want the HYC, that's why. But this that one would lose the HYC. But I personally like this one better, that one. But yeah, that's the logo I've been working on.
Any,
feel free-
context behind the wave?
Sorry, what was that?
Any context behind the wave or metaphorical value maybe?
Honestly, it's just
Honestly, it just looks cool.
No, yeah, I'm not saying it needs to be.
I like the question.
I'm just
Meaning.
curious.
But if
Yeah, yeah,
anyone
okay.
has an idea to make an actual meaning behind the logo, that would be cool too.
Mhm.
But this is just, I thought it looked cool. So I mean,
It does
You
look
know,
cool.
yeah.
It looks cool. I like it.
Wait, what's the other ones like down there?
Oh, sorry, those are just other little
Oh,
things I was looking at, but they look kind of weird when I was reviewing it. This one, it looks. My mom didn't like it. She said it looks like ghosts or something coming out of the island. So I was like, okay, I know. So I just want something more simple, just a wave and some
Yeah.
kids, the youth. Yeah.
I like it. Good job.
Yeah.
I really like
Yeah.
it.
It's awesome.
In fact, do we want a motion to? Do we want to approve?
Do you want to? I mean, it's up to you guys. I'm just gonna stand back. You guys.
Chair Lim,
I'm not
were
the
you
chair. Lim,
sorry?
Yeah.
Were you Commissioner Bonifacio mentioned that you were interested in maybe making a logo. Would you want to maybe make something that we could decide on, or
Making a logo?
Or
No,
designing one or something like that? No.
I didn't say I
Not
was
make a logo,
going to
but
design
like
a logo.
have a brainstorm of it or something like that. I think
Okay,
or
wait,
something
no.
like
Wait, I feel like someone might have misinterpreted my words.
that. Not make a logo, sure, but just you had some ideas or something, right? Or something. Design class you mentioned.
Oh, no, I was just saying if you needed
If
help,
I need-
I
okay.
was very willing to
I'll take
work
that
on
as
it
a-
with you.
That's a.
But
bad
I
thought.
like the logos that you presented to us, and I agree when you say that you liked the version without the glaring HYC in the middle, because
Mhm.
it does kind of overlap with the wave, and I don't know, it might
Sorry,
be an eyesore to some, it might not be, and it does say City and County of Honolulu Youth Commission, so I think that already
So
encompasses
you like
our
this one, yeah? It's
brand, so
sure.
I think I
Okay,
like that one better.
maybe I'll add. Do you think this? I know.
Wait. Sorry, go back.
This one has stars in the side. That's from the.
Oh.
That's. But I don't know. I don't know why those stars. But the stars are from the logo, City County logo. I don't know if you want that one.
Add stars on
Do you
the
want
logo.
stars in this one? In the other one? You want stars in
I
that
think
one?
I'm a fan of the stars. I will have
Like
to
the
say.
stars.
I'm a
Okay.
fan of the-
The HYC this
I
one
like the
then. Does this
stars.
one look good?
Add the stars on this,
Add the stars.
you know,
Okay.
and not-
Yeah.
And just not the big HYC.
Yeah.
one.
Got it.
I
yeah.
think we add the stars on that,
Yeah, I was just
and
brainstorming.
we have a logo.
Based on what I've seen from like other
I like the
states and all that.
stars.
But okay, well I'll add stars to this one, and then
Awesome.
we'll
So,
propose it next meeting, I guess. Yeah.
I mean,
So I
do you want to propose the next meeting, or you want to?
We'll do
yeah,
next
that's right.
meeting
The
once
next
I get
meeting.
the stars done. Yeah, once I get the stars
Okay,
done. then
okay.
I'll-
Good.
Thank you.
So
see it,
thank you
yeah.
very much, Commissioner Bonifacio.
It's awesome.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Thank you.
Especially with the stars on.
It's
It's gonna look.
it needs the stars.
Moving on to future agenda items now. We do have a meeting July 15th at same time as usual, 5:30, and then we have the mayor's meeting
Oh, wait.
on July 1st at
Like,
noon, 1 p.m.
But I think that will, I could be wrong, cancel the July 15th one, because this one will serve as the.
Okay, so
depends.
check that. We are tentatively canceling the July 15th meeting and instead moving it to June 1st in
July.
excuse me, July 1st. It's been a long day, guys.
No, you're
July 1st in anticipation of the mayoral meeting.
Yeah. One item about that mayoral meeting, we had a discussion about some of the topics. I have it here in the minutes, but I just wanted to confirm, we've got housing education. Did we want to have any other topics that we could discuss during that? Because now is the time to make those final decisions because we have to put on the agenda. You guys need to decide.
Is environment on there?
Yeah.
Can we do immigration?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So and that's up to you guys to decide, but pretty much anything is on the table. I mean, there's nothing that.
Yeah, I mean,
we would rule out.
Affordable housing is still there.
Yeah.
Okay. Affordable housing, education, environment, so immigration.
Could we break down environment maybe into like both food systems and maybe energy?
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't think I'll be able to attend this one, but if I can, I'm interning at the Capitol. But
Okay.
yeah, I'll try my best to make it.
If not, leave us the notes and we can share it with the mayor or something if you wanna.
Okay, sounds
Wait,
good.
what time is this?
1 p.m.
Wait, there's going to be a WebEx for this mayor meeting as well, right?
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. That's really nice.
Oh,
okay.
okay, then I might be.
Is this a strict script?
So we want to have the topics determined in advance so we can put them on the agenda so that we can adhere to sunshine law to make sure that we're talking about the things that are actually on the
Okay,
agenda.
yeah, that's right. That's
so,
right.
yeah, that's why it's
reminded.
important right now.
Okay. Any other? We have housing, immigration. We're splitting up environment into potentially food systems and energy and education. All right.
Did we want to talk about implementation of AI?
Oh,
That was
I
a
like that.
topic that we talked about last meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
That's a great idea.
Let's do it. And we're already at how many topics though?
1, 2, 3.5 with environment being 2. 4, 5.
Okay, I think that's. I mean, being that we're gonna dive in, I think that's good. Yeah.
How long do we have in them again? 1 hour?
1 hour.
Okay.
in there.
Alright.
Awesome. So that's kind of we're squared away with
Perfect.
that. Okay. Reminder: resolutions and documents are due a week before the meeting, and I'm calling this meeting adjourned at 6:36. Yeah. Thank you.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.